To this day, this is still one of the most horrifying incidents in world sports history. Black September is a terrorist group of Palestinian origin, founded in 1970 by a few survivors of the terrible 10 Days of September, the war against Jordan for an autonomous land for Palestinians. At about 4:25 a.m. on September 5, 1972, 8 members of Black September, wearing Arab sportswear and carrying gun bags, jumped over the fence surrounding the Olympic Village in Munich, Germany, to get inside. Although the guards saw everything, they paid little attention because athletes often jumped over the fence to return to their rooms during the Olympics. After changing into camouflage clothes, terrorists carrying machine guns broke into the rooms of 21 Israeli athletes and sports officials. Encountering fierce resistance, they shot and killed on-the-spot wrestling coach Moshe Weinberg and weightlifter Joseph Romano. Yosef Gutfreund, the wrestling referee, was lucky enough to hold off the attackers, allowing his colleague Tuvia Sokolovsky to jump out the window and escape. However, the terrorists ended up kidnapping 9 hostages. After the terrorist attack broke out, the German government quickly established an emergency management committee right in the city of Munich. During preliminary negotiations, terrorists demanded that Israel release 234 Arab prisoners, and Germany must release members of the Baader-Meinhof terrorist organization before 12 noon. Both of these requests were flatly denied. Israeli Prime Minister at that time, Mrs. Golda Meir, affirmed that in any situation, the Israeli government would not meet the demands of terrorists. Ms. Meir ordered the special forces of the Israeli intelligence agency, Mossad, to be ready to take action to rescue the hostages. However, the government of German Prime Minister Willy Brandt does not accept Mossad's direct action on the grounds that it violates the country's constitution. Therefore, Israel only sent Director Mossad Zamir and a hostage negotiation expert to fly to Germany to join the Emergency Management Committee in Munich. The International Olympic Committee sent Ahmed Datouni, the IOC Permanent Commissioner from Egypt, to negotiate with the terrorists. Mr. Datouni pledged to ensure Black September members' safe exit from Germany and a large ransom if they return the hostages. However, the terrorists rejected this proposal. The negotiations lasted until after 8 p.m. on September 5, 1972, before an agreement was reached. Accordingly, the Germans had to provide 2 helicopters for the terrorist group and hostages to move from the Olympic Village to the military airport in Fürstenfeldbruck. Next, the terrorists planned to go to another airport to Cairo, Egypt. However, the Egyptian government refused to allow the above-mentioned helicopters to transit their territory. German authorities planned to ambush and rescue hostages when the terrorists transferred to a passenger plane at Fürstenfeldbruck Airport by sending 5 snipers to station around the runway and police to blend in with the crew group. However, the plan quickly fell apart. In addition to the fact that the sniper force was too small compared to the number of terrorists, members of the passenger plane's crew, because they were too worried about their lack of anti-terrorism experience, refused the mission and left the plane first when planning begins. However, Germany still carried out the hostage rescue attack as originally planned. 3 terrorists were killed in the first round of shooting, but the rest still survived. Under the cover of 2 accomplices, a terrorist withdrew from the first helicopter before throwing a grenade onto it, killing all 4 hostages tied inside. Another terrorist fired a machine gun at the second helicopter, killing all 5 remaining hostages. The hostage rescue operation failed completely. It took 45 minutes after the firefight for German reinforcements to arrive at the scene, as the press and curious people flocked to watch, blocking the highway leading to Fürstenfeldbruck Airport. Ultimately, a total of 17 people died in the incident, including a German policeman, 11 Israeli athletes and coaches, and 5 terrorists. 3 of the surviving terrorists were imprisoned but were released a month later when the terrorist organization took control of a Lufthansa 727 passenger plane and demanded their release. The 1972 Munich Olympics were interrupted for a while because of the above massacre and only restarted after the burial of the victims. German police were also heavily criticized for not ensuring security for the Olympics. A few days after the horrific tragedy, Israel retaliated with airstrikes against Syria and Lebanon, killing 66 people and injuring dozens more. In addition, Israel also sent assassination teams to hunt down members of the Black September group and at the same time sent soldiers across the Lebanese border, sparking the bloodiest conflict since the Six-Day War in 1967.